With 192 pictos, over 100 weapons, several playable characters with dozens of skills to choose from, there's a lot of different ways to play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. But in this video, we're not just looking for any way to play, we're looking for ridiculous, cheesy, or just plain stupid strategies we can use against the hardest enemies in the game. And every time I beat a boss, I'll have to come up with a new strategy to use against the next one. So no two fights will be the same. But there's a huge problem, a near insurmountable obstacle that stands between me and completing this challenging playthrough. Act 1. I know, kind of anticlimactic, but think about it. I'm rolling in with half a squad, trash gear, and barely any attributes to my name. I have nothing. And how do I create ridiculousness out of nothing? I've got a few ideas, and they mostly revolve around torturing my enemies, torturing my allies, or torturing myself. First up is Avik, and she's fighting against Gustav and his Lightning God Omega Protocol. This Gustav is built a little different than the Gustav you know and love. He's a fanatic, an obsessive maniac that will stop at nothing to smite the non-believers. He is our father, who art and stacks, hallowed be thy zap. Cult of the Charged Gustav. His ability Overcharge deals more damage with more stacks, up to a max of 10, but bear witness to his disappointment when you use it uncharged.
This was weak.
Unacceptable. This Gustav won't ever unleash an Overcharge unless it's 10 out of 10. But that's not all. Overcharge will not be upstaged by these other pathetic strikes. As such, it will be our only damaging attack in this battle. Now please join me in reciting the Creed of the Charged as Gustav delivers his righteous judgment to Avik. Build up your charge to receive his blessing. We've got to fully charge Overcharge without dealing damage, or in other words, get ready to dodge and be grateful for the few support abilities that grant a couple stacks. Strike not because it is wise, but because it is overcharged. Avik starts combat with 3 shields, and a full overcharge to blast each one has gotta be the least efficient way I could possibly start this fight. Enemies strike the air, each dodge bringing charge. I'm not actually very good at dodging or parrying. I was born with bad reflexes, and the sun got in my eyes. I think my controller might be lagging or something. Anyone else? No, just me. Cool. All right, that is 2 overcharges landed, and Avik is summoning minions now. Through zealous toil, non-believers are vaporized. Well, at least we get the satisfaction of actually landing some killing blows. Bring forth electric wrath, cleanse the battlefield. So I did not remember that Avik gets 8 shields mid-fight. Fuck me, right? 11 full overcharges, this fight going to shields alone. When our enemies rage, we wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. Yeah, so I can't let Avik kill me with a charged attack. Gustav would excommunicate me for sure. Each shield is an insult, each bolt our righteous reply. I don't think I could have picked a stupider strategy than this. Like, this is quite possibly the dumbest start to a video I've ever had. And who's to blame? Gustav. Gustav is to blame 100%, no doubt about it. We dodge, we endure, we unleash.
For those who come after.
Holy shit, it's over. It is finished. That is 28 minutes to deal 6,688 damage with 176 successful dodges. But hey, look on the bright side. At least I'm not allowed to use that strategy again. The Cult of the Charged has been disbanded. Our next match is against the Curator, and normally this fight is nothing special. It's basically a tutorial on how to jump over attacks. But I made another video on Clair Obscur where I just face tanked the entire game, and I learned something weird about the Curator. He is the only enemy I found who scales to your party's level. In that run, I tried to power level past the Curator, and it just was not happening. The only way I managed to win was by fighting him at the lowest possible level that I was able to get past Avik at, which was level 8. But it got me thinking, what happens if you go even lower? So now my whole party's sitting at level 5, and instead of bringing all 3 characters, I'm sending in Maelle solo to face tank everything he's got. This strategy is called less is more. To get a feel for how rough this was gonna be, I had Maelle go in with no pictos. She certainly gave it her best shot, but that's not gonna happen. So I added a couple of pictos, and I went for round 2. I started off by tossing on a few burn stacks, then I zipped into Virtuoso stance with Swift Stride. The Curator was roasting, so I went again, more burns, more cooking him up. And at this point the Curator was practically melting, so I ran it back with another Swift Stride into Per Se for a clean hit that dropped me into defensive stance. Now both Maelle and the Curator were hanging on by a thread, and the Curator's got 2 turns, so I popped a healing tint just to make sure that I'd be able to survive the damage from both his hits. One more round of burn stacks and I closed it out with one final spark. It turns out that the Curator's greatest weakness is weakness. The lower you are, the easier he falls. If fighting the Curator was about less being more, then fighting Goblu is about more being more. Goblu pretty much just wants to protect his flower garden, which is why we're going to burn it to the ground with as much fire as possible. Now, is this cruel? Yes, I would say so. But do I feel a little bit bad about it? Yeah, I do, a little bit. Am I going to do it anyways? Absolutely I am. This is Goblu's Garden Gommage Grill. This game is full of insane fire synergy, especially in Act 3 where we're gonna host an infernal cookout without a doubt. But at low level, I'm quite limited, which is why my goal is to test just how hard we can fan the flames. Burn doesn't last long, just 3 turns, so I need to move fast and make Goblu move slow. Maelle and Lune are the stars of the show, with Gustav just here to support. My first attempt made it up to 35 burn stacks, but I knew I could do better, and it's all about setting it up perfectly. So I tossed a match at the drawing board to light it up and start fresh. I synchronized my character's speed so they would take turns in the optimal order. And the goal is to have Gustav go before Lune and apply Mark with Marking Shot so that her immolation gets 5 burn stacks instead of 3. Once my squad's action points were maxed, the cookout began with Lune casting Ice Lance and Maelle shifting to offensive stance. Lune's best move is to spam immolation each turn, and Maelle is swapping between Spark and Rain of Fire to maximize her stance bonuses. We cooked Goblu up to 30 stacks, and he summoned flowers, but support Gustav took them out and still managed to apply a mark for Lune. After another Rain of Fire, we hit 45 stacks, which ticked for 2,285 damage. Not bad, but 5 of our stacks fell off after Goblu's turn. We're not finished yet though. Gustav didn't manage to mark Goblu, but Lune did before using Immolation again, and Maelle used Spark to bring Goblu up to 51 burn stacks, which dealt 2,425 damage on Goblu's turn. This was our peak, as we dropped down to 26 after that, and I let Gustav use an overcharge to break Goblu, just for old time's sake. Another Rain of Fire got us up to 39 stacks, but it's clear that this party is on its way down. It's time to finish this up with Degagement, which made Goblu weak to fire damage, and one last burn tick sizzled Goblu to a crisp. Goblu's garden has been gommaged. After torching an entire underwater garden, confidence is flooding through my character's veins, especially Maelle, who did most of the burning. Gustav noticed Maelle was a little too eager to face our next opponent, the ultimate Saka Patat, and he tried to pass down some elderly wisdom.
Hey, don't get cocky, Maelle.
Don't get cocky, Maelle.
Oh, Gustav. Oh, you've really gone and done it now. Nobody tells Maelle how cocky she ought to be. She's a goddamned prodigy. So, go take a seat, because Maelle's gonna show you how it's done. Armor's coming off, hair is down, because this is Maelle's reckless rebuttal. She's going into offensive stance and staying there. To kick things off, she parried the ultimate Saka Patat's opening attacks and landed a nice jump strike. Then she blasted the big fella's cannon arm clear off with one hand behind her back. And she ended her turn with Mezzo Forte to stay in offensive stance and gain 4 action points. The ultimate Saka Patat unleashed its full power, catapulting some electric bombs at Maelle, which she parried into a 9,999 damage counterattack, and followed up with a flurry of free aim shots to win the fight. All in less than a minute. Oh, but thank you so much for your wise words, Gustav. You really saved the day. Trying to cook up ridiculous strategies without any good weapons or pictos is starting to wear on the whole party. Maelle blew off some steam by robbing a Gestrel's house and then skewering him when he complained. So, yeah, the party dynamic is super great right now. So good. Let's just go to our next fight, an arena match against the Gestrel's mysterious stranger. It turned out to be another expeditioner, Ciel, but the Gestrels grew impatient when the fighting didn't begin immediately.
They're expecting a bit of a show, shall we?
Yeah, well, Maelle's not in the mood to put on a show. Her heart just isn't in it. But from emptiness came inspiration. Who really wants to see flashy moves when she's got something better up her sleeve? That's right, it's every Gestrel's favorite ambush event, Surprise Poetry Night. A poem by Maelle. In the Gestrel arena, a duel began. One fights with style, the other is bland. No flashy moves, not even a stance. Just basic hits, and CL stood no chance. Maelle stopped short of the final blow, pausing for the thunderous applause she knew her battle poem deserved. Instead, boos, groans, general outrage. Devastated, she didn't have the strength to raise her sword. And that's when CL struck back with an attack called, fittingly enough, Sealed Fate. CL is the champion of the Gestrel arena, and as such was gifted a special weapon that is essential for the most ridiculous fight strategy I can manage in Act 1. But before we can get to that, we have a hypothesis to examine. How much damage does an ice attack really need to deal to earn the title of strongest ice attack ever? Lune was deeply unsettled by Francois making such a bold, unverified claim. That's not very scientific, so she started collecting data. To establish our baseline, we let Francois repeatedly blast my team until we found his best hit, 4,410 ice damage. With our control set, it's time for the real experiment. Welcome to absolute zero respect. Obviously, Lune is the experiment lead, and the objective is to test if Francois' claim of having the strongest ice attack ever is accurate. Step 1 is our elemental priming protocol. Equip Trebuchem and generate earth, electric, and fire elemental stains. All parameters are aligned for crippling tsunami at max output. Step 2 is survive temper tantrums. Francois lashed out in a flurry of icy rage, clearly trying to sabotage the experiment, so Lune dodged. And dodged again, with perfect scientific precision, of course. Step 3, fire crippling tsunami with a perfect QuickTime event to achieve maximum output. The data is in, 9,999 ice damage, far superior to Francois' 4,410. Conclusion, Francois' attack is incorrectly named. Recommendation, rename attack to moderately impressive ice burst. Final step, post-test documentation. Let's go ahead and snap a selfie with our test subject, for science of course. Smile, Francois! Oh, wait, you can't. You're just a rock.
I am clearly a turtle.
There's only one more fight for the Act 1 video, and I feel it perfectly sets the stage as we enter Act 2. I really did the best that I could in Act 1 with the tools I had available, but our battle against the Lampmaster is going to use a truly ridiculous strategy to end this video with a bang. Or maybe 52 bangs. We'll see how many the Lampmaster can take. But I need a resplendent chroma catalyst to upgrade one of my weapons to level 10, and the only place I'm aware of I can get that is pounding on Julian Tinyhead for a while. This guy looks ridiculous. I actually got pretty lucky and it dropped on just my second fight attempt. The Lampmaster is a two-phase fight, and as luck would have it, my strategy also has two phases. So let's hop into phase 1. I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
I can't explain it, but my party really loves Lamp now. They just won't even shoot it, even though it's the only way to stop the Lampmaster's bonus attack at the end of each turn. If I'm gonna be forced to eat Lamp Blasts every turn, I'll need to prep for defense and healing. Thankfully, CL's all set gives us Shell and Rush, so we take less damage and get more turns, which is why it was CL's opening move. Then, the Lampmaster switched off all the lights to attack. We could have disabled these, but then we'd have to shoot Lamp, and they're far too precious for my party to do that for some reason.
Lamp.
Better to just eat the damage, right guys? Now, Gustav's got a special role in this fight. This is his last chance, this is his best chance to show off his moves. He's going to be our primary attacker in phase 1, and I'm letting him attack with everything in his arsenal. I just felt like the fella deserved a chance to be the main character while he still can. Before the video ends, I mean. Sorry, everything I keep saying sounds like a eulogy. Gustav is built with max vitality right now. The Lampmaster is not gonna take him down. So let's just let Gustav show off his moves before it's too late. I did it again. CL is my most vulnerable party member, so Lune focused some healing onto her, and when everybody else was hurt, pulsed out AoE healing and applied regen to the whole party to ease their pain. All these party buffs are getting refreshed every single turn by CL's Dark Cleansing. They'll last literally forever, and each cast of Dark Cleansing is adding one more moon card to Ciel's deck. Wonder what's gonna happen when she gets a full 52 cards built up. As the battle dragged on and the party ate more and more lamp attacks, they began to wonder why they ever loved lamp in the first place. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't really make any sense. Ciel most of all was over it, existing on the edge of death for much of the battle. By the time her deck was full, she was completely fed up with these fucking lamps. Thankfully, you can always count on Gustav to end it with a full power overcharge. It's kind of his whole deal.
For those who come after.
Yeah, for those who come after, indeed. Well said, buddy. The only problem is that this is a two-phase fight, with the second phase being a bit tougher than the first. The Lampmaster did a cute little ritual with its lamps as it prepared to decimate my party with them. But that's when Ciel called out the name of our Phase 2 battle strategy.
Full deck.
With the level 10 weapon Heveson in her hands, Ciel can consume moon cards to gain 400% free aim damage and gain an action point. In other words, Phase 1 has been one long setup, loading up 52 big dick damage free aim shots, all ready to fire in a single turn. The deck is full. Time to pull off the ultimate card trick. Let's see how long the Lampmaster can last against a machine gun made of moon cards. That was everything I'd hoped it would be. Fucking incredible, Ciel. Amazing. That's a wrap on Act 1, and I think it sets the tone perfectly for what's coming in Act 2. The more weapons and pictos I find, the more ridiculous my strategies are gonna get. If you like this video, click here to check out Act 2, or if it isn't finished yet, it'll be my no dodge or parry full playthrough of Clair Obscur instead. Thanks for watching, and have a ridiculous day.